Hi guys, so today we are doing something a bit different. As from the title of the video you can see, it will be more like a story time thing mixed with some footage I managed to make from my trip to Seoul. As you can see from the title, it was fun. Let's go with fun. So yeah, I will try to be as coherent as possible, and future me, do the best you can with editing this. I was going to Seoul, and I was flying to Seoul on the 30th of August. And well, yeah, the flight itself, it was a mess. I will tell you that. It was a mess. First of all, and that is on me, the layovers were pretty short. Like, the planned layovers were, when I was flying there, hour and a half in Doha, that's Qatar, and then hour and a half in Hong Kong. So I was flying with Qatar Airways and then with Cathay Pacific. Lovely airlines. Like, I have nothing else to say about that. They were like, as airline, like, the planes themselves and the service was very nice. It was very nice. But everything else, oh yeah, Mayo. First of all, and that was the main thing, every flight was delayed. Not so much that I would be able to claim some, reimbursement money, but it ended up being that when I landed in Doha, I had half an hour to my next flight. And when I landed in China, Hong Kong, I also had like 25 minutes till my next flight, and I still do not understand how I got to both of my planes on time, because I was running both times. The airports are humongous. It was so hectic. It was such a mess. And on top of that, with all the time zones and how long the flights were, like, the first flight was 4 hours, the second flight was 8 hours, and the third flight was 3 hours 15 minutes. And like, it was, and before that it was like, I went to my shift, and from my morning shift I straight away went to the airport. So that was the start of it all. So I had my flight, I got through the whole hell, I landed in Seoul, I went to claim my baggage, I'm waiting for my baggage. I waited, I think, for like 15 minutes, maybe 20, until I heard from the speakers that they're like calling my name. So, I don't know if I will be heard. The road is loud. But here I am, finally. Nothing impressive, but I'm in Seoul. And I am not sure if I don't want to go home already. Like, I am not sure, I'm very conflicted. Because guess what happened? My baggage got lost. and not like just lost. Oh, it will be here in a couple of days. In like lost, like, oh, we don't know where it is, and we don't know when it will be like delivered to you. And I am like, shit. All the exclamation marks, all of them. I'm not happy. And now, yeah, now I'm going. I theoretically could have taken a bus, but to be fair, my head was too muddled to figure out how to buy the correct tickets. So I just ended up taking the airport bus, and then now I'm walking because I need to air out my brain. Yeah. Okay. See you later. They had lost my baggage. It was like 10 something in the evening. As I said, my flights were long. I haven't slept a lot. I was just already emotionally, physically drained, just already done with everything. And afterwards, yeah, one of my friends was like, well, it happens a lot, you should have prepared or carry on with some stuff. But I didn't imagine that. I didn't think about that. Because it was like first flight that was so long for me, and in my experience of my little to almost no experience of flying, I have never lost my baggage. So I hadn't prepared anything like for emergencies. Anyway, I'm like, alright, can you tell me when will you be able to get my luggage? Around what time? Do you know where it is if it's not here? Stuff like that. She's like, nope, no idea whatsoever. We will bring the baggage to your hotel once we receive it. Please give us the address. Figured out how to get from the airport to my hotel in Itaewon. I got into the bus, took the bus. I walked, I kind of a bit calmed down, not a lot, and I got to my hotel with already kind of a mindset of like, I went home, I went back, never mind, this was a mistake. So I went to sleep. Next day I decided to, like, the first couple of days was pretty much, the first day was me wandering around and figuring where I can buy all the things I would need, because again, I had no idea when I will get my luggage back with all my clothes, hygiene things, skincare things, everything. And now you are thinking, dude, you're in Seoul. You didn't plan to buy some skincare things? I was. So the situation at that moment was that I had not even resigned, but basically my contract with my company ended one day after I went for my trip. And because that had happened, and at that time the project I was working for did not allow in my company to do internal transfers to a different project, and I did not like my project at all. I have beef with my company, with the previous company, but that's a different story, and let's not talk about it because I might need to go back there. But basically, because I could not do an internal transfer for a different project, I decided I will let my contract expire, not renew it, and then reapply for a new project. Everyone was in the company was very like, yeah, sure, we have like plenty spots, blah blah blah. Go for it. Such at that moment, I had like on my hand like 350 euros. I don't know how to spend correctly money, but yeah, I had a bit of money that I did not plan to really spend on clothes shopping or skincare, blah blah blah. The plan was that I will wait for my salary to come, my last salary to come, and that money would have been spent on these things. But because I didn't have my luggage, I had to already buy those things. And then it was very lackluster. I just was getting something to have, like, clean clothes to wear and makeup to put on and stuff like that. So I bought those things. I bought everything that I felt like I will need. Um, the first evening I went to Hongdae. I will say I really like Hongdae. It's very cool. It's very nice. It's very different, definitely, from what I have seen either in Greece or in Latvia. Though I will say Seoul is much more similar to Latvia. It's like Latvia, specifically Riga, if Latvians would have more money and they would like invest a bit more in infrastructure, etc. But all over, I enjoyed it. The first night was very lovely. Saw some buskers, just wandered around. Though I did encounter, I would say, the first all over con about Seoul, and that was the food places. Like, I have heard plenty of, but like, from people on TikTok, YouTube, that, like, the Korean food places, first of all, most of them are not meant for solo travelers or even like solo patrons. Let's put it like that. The portions are pretty big, at least in the one place I went to. Yeah, very big. And after like the mix of going to a couple of places and realizing it's not really meant for solo people, and then ending up in one place that served way too much food and me ending up kind of wasting it. Throughout the whole rest of the trip, I kind of became very shy and kind of reluctant to go to any, like, cafe, restaurant, which was a problem, as I also didn't really feel like cooking. And that ended up me, for the first couple of days, I can't even say first couple of days, like for half of the trip, I was visiting McDonald's, the nearby McDonald's I had, way too oftenly. Definitely, like, way too oftenly. Like, I ate so much McDonald's. I'm so ashamed of that. The first couple of nights and days were pretty decent. I can't say I spent a lot of time during the day doing something, because I was like, it was a weekend, so I went out in the evening slash night a lot. It was pretty interesting that on the first, it was pretty interesting to see on my first like Sunday, Monday, Tuesday night that Seoul is like the nightlife in Seoul was still pretty lively. Was it good? Debatable. Debatable. Not everything was open, and it wasn't open that long, like until 3, 4 a.m. And the places that were open were more, I would say, how should I put it? How should I describe it? Like the first description that comes into my head was those places were painfully straight. And I don't know if it says anything. During the first, I think the second day in Seoul, I had gotten the Couchsurfers app originally because I was looking if I can stay at some places, kind of to also make some connections with the locals, maybe find someone who could like show me around something, didn't happen. But they have the Couchsurfing app has a event function. Basically, you can people can post events that you can join, similar to like Facebook events, if you remember and if you know. So I did apply for this like one meetup for foreigners as well as locals. So I applied. I went there, slightly hangover, maybe a bit more than slightly. I went there, and the event was fun, but it also was basically I go there. It was a bit of a drive, but with how convenient and easy to use is Seoul metro system, it wasn't a hassle to get there. So I go there, I say hi to everyone, blah blah blah. Then starts introductions, and I understand that almost everyone, it may be 2 exemptions, almost everyone is from the same university. People also thought I was like a uni student, and then I'm like, no, I am here just, for a vacation. And then they got very confused. They're like, how did you find out about this thing, about this event and stuff like that? And then the one who organized it is like, oh yeah, I posted it in like the Couchsurfing app as well, and this guy like signed up from it. Again, like it ended up being like most people knew each other, and I was like and I felt like very random being there. But again, everyone was very sweet, very polite, very nice. There were like people from, I remember there were 2 girls from UK. Couple of Koreans, yes. One very cute guy. But we will not talk about that. And every other country and the people that were from those countries, I don't remember which countries they were, honestly. So yeah, it was fun. We did play some games. There were some activities. It was a very friendly environment. Got a lot of like, not Facebook, Instagram new contacts from Instagram. It was cool. I liked it a lot. Anyway, it ended up being very fun, very interesting. Afterwards, yeah, things kind of went downhill because of multiple reasons. I think I'm now supposed to talk about that. Yes, the presso phase. My luggage did come very quickly, like I think it was on the day that I went for the meetup thing. So basically I bought a lot of things pointlessly, completely pointlessly. But because I needed to buy those things on top of everything else, I ran out of money much faster than it was expected. Much faster. And pretty much I was just like at first days after like I understood, oh my, I am painfully broke. I tried going still out, seeing things that are for free, etc., etc. But my mood, motivation, everything just bled out of my body. Like, it was harder and harder to make myself to do anything and to just not spend the whole day in my room, which in the end of it I did do, partly because even after like there being no point for me going out in the evening and night, my roommates, my not roommates, my like the people in other like in the hostel guest house, the people in the guest house still were loud. They swapped. There were new tourists and as much as I saw, there were like for 1, 2, 3 days, so they were going during the night out or just in general being loud during like not during but till like 3, 4 a.m. So I ended up going in the evening, but it was like completely pointless me just wandering through the city. On top of that, there were things happening with the whole rehiring process. Basically, I don't know why, but the person that was tasked to the person who was tasked to contact me regarding like rehiring, switching projects, never wrote me anything. On top of that, basically it was like a bit of a chain. It was I would say unnecessary chain, because there was the first person that I contacted regarding, hey, my contract expires, I am interested to be rehired but in a different project. Then this person told me, okay, we have contacted and informed the recruiters, they will write you in like couple of days regarding your options, blah blah blah. They didn't do anything for a while. So during my as I said as I have written in my script, the presso phase, I wrote them again because I was concerned. I needed a job. I'm still unemployed at the moment, by the way. So I wrote them again, writing, hey, asking, going like, hey, I haven't heard anything from the recruiter you mentioned. Does that mean that you have no vacancies for me? Should I be looking somewhere for something else, somewhere else? And to that I got a reply, hey, they are like, we've made a note about your query. They are, and we are just searching for the best option for you, something like that. And that's it. Like, I still didn't get any communication from the recruiter. On top of that, the next thing is at the moment when I expected my last salary to come, it didn't. On the day I was like, I had planned that, okay, on this day I will have again money. Okay, it didn't come at all. Nothing. My payslip came, but that's it. I got nervous. I contacted again the HR, and they told me, oh, your like money will come until this and this date, which was one day before I need to go back to home. And it was like 6-7 days in the future from that point, on top of that. And I am like, as you can imagine, my depresso face got so much more tragic. Like, any last energy, motivation to exist just drained out of me. I was just, no, done, pretty much. But, and thanks to all the higher forces, it didn't take that long, like they didn't pull, like stretch it out to the last moment, and I think 2 days later my salary finally came and I was able to do stuff. With that also my mood improved, and I continued trying to explore and do stuff in Seoul. So, the last days were pretty chill. Like, I met up with this one girl from South Africa who was also here for vacation. It was very fun. Made like a very good friend from her. We chilled, we went clubbing, etc. A lot of clubs where I had already frequent. We were like standing in lines, and someone usually would come up to me like, "Oh, I remember you. Are you coming with anyone?" I'm like, "Yeah, with her." And they would like drag us in the front of the line to like just give us a second, like, "You don't need to stand in line, just go." Okay, that was very sweet. We ended up chilling and talking with some people. It was we made a very good combo because she knew more words and like how to speak in Korean, but at the same time I would say her understanding was less, while I did not know that well how to express myself, but for some reason I kind of understood what they were saying more. So I would they would say something, I would like, hey, tell that, and she would say that, say whatever, and it was fun. I met up with a couple of more TikTokers I have saw, like chatted a bit, moved on. It was a gay club, couple actually. Then what else? We ate. We just all around. Just it was chill. I can't say I went very I didn't go to really much touristy spots because a lot of them still required money, and I was a bit like saving up because also at that point I had made another email to the same person in my previous company regarding the whole rehiring process. At that point I was already considering, oh fudge, I might need to go back to Latvia because I knew that finding a job in Greece will be very, very hard. And I was like, Hey, any updates? I still haven't heard anything from a recruiter. Does this mean something? Please let me know because I am considering going back to Latvia. And I haven't heard back from them ever since. Nothing. Completely. And at that point I was like, okay, I need to be a bit more frugal with my funds, unfortunately. But all over, I enjoyed my time. I chilled a lot. It was pretty relaxing. I did find couple of places that served the single for like where you could go alone and eat like Korean food, which was marvelous because I was done with McDonald's. I was done with McDonald's so badly. Plus, I was oftenly with that other girl, so we went to a couple of other, not a lot, but couple of other places as well together, which helped when it comes to going to food places in Korea and Seoul definitely. And yeah, peaceful, nothing much more about that time. And then already I needed to go back. Was a bit sad. There was again another like slight confusion with my flights. Basically, it was on the period where maybe you know, maybe you don't, but basically, Hong Kong was going through quite a flood, like a very big flood, and my flights, the intended flights that were meant for me to get home, were appearing and disappearing, which was very strange. I checked in like 3 times until it stayed like that. While when I contacted the customer support, they're like, no, everything's fine. Everything is as I planned. At one point, because of the weather forecast in Hong Kong, I was very, very like kind of nervous to fly. But okay, I did. I flew home. The whole process was even more horrifying because this time my layovers were 8 hours each place. That was a mistake. So, to summary, like a summary about my thoughts about Seoul. I even wrote them down, some points. Prawns. Definitely, even with the fact that Seoul has almost no trash cans anywhere on street, I would say it was very clean. Comparison to Greece, definitely much cleaner. The streets are wide. It was nice being there. It's definitely more peaceful. People are much more quieter, and like basically there is much more, I would say, respect about your personal space, which as a Latvian I loved it. Just mwah. Of course, a thing everyone talks about when they mention Seoul or South Korea in general, but mostly Seoul or Busan, big cities. Convenience. It was so convenient being there. Everything was so convenient. I could still like, when I just think about it, I want to cry. Just how convenient everything was. Most food, while I like again, I did run into complications during my stay there regarding food and food places. The food is definitely much cheaper than, for example, here in Athens. I cannot talk about grocery stores, honestly, because I did not even really see any to begin with. I didn't see any grocery stores, if I think about it now. So I cannot comment on those, but like places where you can just buy food, even the ones who are like where the portions are obviously meant for 2-3 people. Food is pretty cheap, pretty cheap. Cons, there were some issues with the whole cash card, like when you can pay with cash, when you need to pay with card. I needed specifically to take out cash oftenly, but it wasn't that big of a hassle. And yes, other con I did mark, and I already spoke about it. Portion size, also places that like are obvious were like no foreigners, Koreans only, locals only, which I am not mad about, because I will say I do find it annoying. For example, here in Greece, when I go to a place and it's obvious that the staff does not speak in English and they are kind of upset that you are here, I rather would like that they just put like some kind of sign, no foreigners, no English, something like that, honestly. So that wasn't that. I will not go and say it's like a con or complain about it a lot, because I understand why it's like that, and to be honest, I find it uncomfortable anyway if I ended up going somewhere and it turns out that they're not able to help assist me anyway. Well, that's pretty much it. As I said, it was a roller coaster. That whole trip was a humongous roller coaster, on part because of me and my fault, part of some things that I could not control. There's a big wasp flying around me and I'm low-key terrified. Okay, I think this is a good point to end. Thank you for watching, hope you enjoyed it, and see you in the next video. Bye!